3 years in prison if convicted. Then there's another obstruction of business charge involving Latte World. And then on top of that, to make things even worse for the dude, there's a new investigation that can give him an additional 10.5 years in prison if they end up going through and charging him with this. And that investigation is for child harassment. And this revolves an incident of him spamming.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you don't know, what you're looking at on the screen is probably the worst IRL streamer to ever exist, Mr. Johnny Salami or whatever. I think that's how you say his name. But this video is disrespectful. IRL streamer faces 20.5 more years in Korean prison. He's not a good guy. He's just not a good guy. He's not a good IRL streamer. He just goes overseas and just terrorize the people who live in the area over like Japan and stuff. It just causes making us look bad as streamers or content creators. So when we go over there, you know, we might try to record, like they might look at us weird because him. So we're gonna go ahead and check this video out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that like button, and this is gonna be both on YouTube and Patreon. I shouldn't have to do much on YouTube to get this up on there. So, but if I do, then if you want to see the full unblurry version, go to my Patreon at TAYE Live Reactions and check it out. I will leave the original video link in the description, and let's get into it.
Chasing internet attention in South Korea, as things have somehow gotten even worse for Johnny Somali out there, because not only has he been slapped with more charges, but one of these new charges, they come with a mandatory prison sentence of at least 3 years if convicted. And considering South Korea has about a 99% conviction rate, it's not like you really need to be a legal expert to see where all of this is going. But what
they got a 99%. Yeah, you just.
Things have somehow gotten even worse for Johnny Somali out there, because not only has he been slapped with more charges, but one of these new charges, they come with a mandatory prison sentence of at least 3 years if convicted. And considering South Korea has about a 99% conviction rate, it's not like you really need to be a legal expert to see where all of this is going. But what makes all of this even dumber is the fact that Johnny, just like everything else, live streamed him doing everything. Just like how he live streamed himself prank calling the police for $5, how he live streamed himself harassing construction workers, stalking other streamers, showing up late to his own trial after drunkenly insulting the judge and prosecutors while also live. Oh, in his new defense, he's apparently trying to pull the I'm bipolar card to avoid jail time. Good luck with that, especially because he's already pleaded guilty to 3 charges in the exact same case. So today we're diving into how Johnny somehow managed to stack 5 criminal charges in just a few months, all of which could send him to prison for years, all for the attention of like, what, 20 teenagers online. But on top of that, we're all—
yeah, was his streams really, his live streams really big when he been doing all this? Because I know he going to jail for like 5 years over like 5 people in his live streams. I know he was a kick streamer and all that, so you already know. I'm not saying every kick streamer is bad, but I mean, show me a good one. Send me a good one, and I'll see.
Also talking about a new investigation which could lead to another decade in prison for him. So it's safe to say things are just not going his way over there. And speaking of doing stupid stuff live, he also leaked a conversation between his pretend lawyer and his real lawyer. Lawyer. So it's safe to say things are becoming more and more telling of how screwed he really is. And this whole nonchalant act is in fact nothing more than just an act that's going to backfire on him massively. So let's get into this disaster. So as of right now, I saw him pleading guilty to 3 charges last time I traveled out to South Korea. This was for disruption of business revolving around the incident at 7-Eleven in Mapo that we actually went to in my video. Then there were the 2 Minor Crimes Act violations, which are essentially misdemeanors here in the US. One for twerking on people and blasting music on the subway, and one for shoving a rotten fish in people's faces and blasting music on a public bus. And since then, he's been hit with even more charges. His deepfake charge, which carries a minimum of 3 years in prison if convicted. Then there's another obstruction of business charge involving Latte World. And then on top of that, to make things even worse for the dude, there's a new investigation that can give him an additional 10.5 years in prison if they end up going through and charging him with this. And that investigation is for child harassment. And this revolves an incident of him spamming horrific slurs at kids in Korean while at Lotte World. Lotte World, if you didn't know, is a kids theme park that has similarities to Disneyland and a kids-oriented version of Sick.
Right, you know how a shitty person you gotta be to go to a kids theme amusement park and harass them. He was a grown ass man, bro. Bro, if I had kids and I seen this guy at the amusement park harassing my kids or even coming close doing something like that, just in it right then and there. On live, he could stay live. He just be knocked out on live because that is crazy, bro. Like, why would you? Out of all the things you could be doing with your life, you go to a kids theme park and harass kids. You're a grown ass man. Like.
Six Flags. Because in this clip, he walks around with that infamous Bluetooth speaker that's gotten him in so much trouble in Japan, and he lets people donate to use him as a proxy to harass kids in the worst way possible. And while he doesn't understand Korean and wouldn't be able to understand what the text-to-speech was saying, at the end of the day, it's still on him. He's allowed himself to be this vessel for these completely unacceptable interactions. The last thing you want as a parent is, you know, taking your kids to some theme park for them to be harassed through some dude's speaker as he's filming and live streaming your kid's reaction for the entire internet to see. That should not be accepted, and that's why it's so important for these streamers to be extremely careful with how they use the text-to-speech feature in public, as they are the ones responsible for whatever comes out of the speaker that's on their backpack. But in addition to his public defendant, which is essentially the lawyer he's been using up until now, Johnny has now gone out and got himself a real lawyer. Or, well, it seems like his friend Hank has done so for him. And this is what Legal Mindset and some other Korean legal analysts have said about his new lawyer.
He has two real lawyers, we're not counting Hank. First is a public defender in the Western District. That is a free attorney that is provided in the Western District where he has an active case. He also has a paid attorney in the Eastern District. Now, the Eastern District charges, as we're going to see, are largely being merged into the Western District. So this paid lawyer is unregistered in the West. So this paid lawyer is unaware of the exact proceedings and what's going on in the Western District. So he really has no idea about what's going on unless he contacts certain people or does extra effort. And it appears that he is kind of being lazy with his proceedings. Also, people that were in the know and some legal professionals and others that analyzed this, as well as people that looked at this lawyer, it appears he's kind of what you might call in the U.S. a strip mall lawyer. He's got a very heavy Korean, heavy specific regional accent, which is very hard to understand. He also seems to be very inexperienced with criminal procedure because he doesn't understand the concept of merging cases.
Who recommend this lawyer? If his friend recommend this lawyer, he's not a good friend. You paying for a lawyer who can't even help you in the district that you in, and he's not even that good at his job. Like, like, what do you like? I don't understand what made him think that was a good idea. After all the other things that he done did so far, he just keep making bad decision after bad decision.
So he hasn't cooperated throughout his entire case, and he's only mocked the judge and prosecutors every step of the way. And his new Hail Mary is to hire a strip mall lawyer. Bro has a Korean Saul Goodman at his service. I mean, the train wreck just somehow keeps on wrecking. But again, somehow it all gets worse, because we also found out that the prosecutor trying to bring Johnny to justice is a top 10 prosecutor in all of Korea. And his new attorney over there also stated that the law enforcement over there is very hard to work with for him due to Johnny's behavior throughout the whole trial. Then to make things even worse, Johnny's lawyer met with the prosecutor to beg them to drop the deepfake charges, but it was too late.
Ramsey's lawyer tried to meet with this prosecutor to beg her to drop with the deepfake case, to beg her to drop it. And as we're going to see with the deepfake case, the hilarious thing is by the time he met with her, it was already too late. The charge had already been indicted. They'd already moved on. They've already processed this. So it was too late to even do that meeting. But they were trying to beg her to drop it because they thought she could drop it, but she'd already indicted and it had already been moved over to the Western District.
That charge alone could be 10 years in prison for Johnny. So for the sake of his own freedom, it's really about time he starts apologizing for real and changes his ways. But unfortunately for Johnny, I feel like that is just way too late for him now, as Legal Mindset explains the timeline of the deepfake charges here.
On February 18th, referred the deepfake case to the prosecutor, which means at that point, it's looking pretty solid. And we had that based on the information that Ramsey flashed across the screen. He flashed across a paper which revealed that this was already sent to the prosecutor. And I called it out at the time and I said, he's screwed on this, because this is going to go on to court. If something is sent to the prosecutor, it is highly likely you're going to get an indictment. Well, on March 7th, he leaked that, right? And then on the 25th, the Eastern prosecutor indicted Ramsey. On the 27th, that indictment moved from the East to the West. The West is where his current case is. They are trying to consolidate everything in that Western district because it's already going, it's already pending, and they want to bring everything over to there so they handle it all in one trial rather than breaking it up into multiple trials. So on that day, I knew immediately, and I informed everybody on the 27th. Because of that, Ramsey and Hank were panicking, and they were talking about that with their lawyer. And that lawyer had no idea. I actually predicted that on my stream. I said, his lawyer might not even know, because the lawyer is not registered in the West. He's only registered in the East. So he actually wasn't accessing the right court records that were in the Western District. So at that meeting, he actually said, oh, you're not indicted for this. Oh, you're not indicted yet. He was.
So again, he's played his cards in the worst way possible, then put his freedom in the hands of a lawyer.
Hey, I don't feel bad for him at all, because, hey, if you don't do nothing to stop people from doing this stuff, they just gonna keep on going and going. So, hey, he got the GG.
Who isn't even registered in the correct district for him to properly help him. Without a doubt, Johnny or Ramsey deserves a permanent spot in the Hall of Fame of influencer morons for his entire trip to Korea. The dude has essentially turned himself into an international laughingstock for nothing. Then he's also trusting this new lawyer for advice, and clearly he's given him a false sense of security.
The lawyer said it's unlikely since you're American, which actually revealed the inexperience and ignorance of this lawyer. Clear example, there was an American that went to jail, that was sentenced to 1 year in jail, prison time, for a single crime, and this was actually predating deepfakes. This was just one cybercrime and an obstruction of business. So remember, Ramsey has at least 2 obstruction of business charges already on the docket, 2 Minor Crimes Act, and a deepfake. So Ramsey has over double the amount of charges, and that person, that defendant, was completely cooperative with the judge in the court.
Yeah, Johnny's been anything but that. And unfortunately for Johnny, he outed Hank's and his own lawyer's incompetence himself, as again, he keeps on streaming from his lawyer's office, and by doing so, he keeps leaking information about his trial without even realizing it as it's being said in Korean. While Johnny doesn't understand Korean, many others do, including translators that help creators cover the story.
So this is the lawyer speaking.
I know he ain't in court. No damn. I know he ain't wear that hat to no damn court session. Oh no. He'll take that damn cowboy hat off. You like, just look like a fucking idiot, bro. What do you? Just send him to jail. Just send him to jail.
So what's happening here, guys, is that Hank is trying to be the lawyer, and the lawyer is having to reprimand and say, hey, Hank, like, let me talk first. Stop trying to explain, right? Stop trying to explain. And once again, this is an issue where Johnny didn't understand the Korean, so he just streamed it. But it just shows how incompetent Hank is, and how even a lawyer who he's paying money to is saying, dude, shut up. Like, let me talk.
Why is he live streaming this in general? And Hank is the one who's been telling Johnny that everything was going to be fine. And then, of course, they messed up and didn't mute again.
This is the superintendent of the Women's and Juvenile Division at Songpa Police Station. Pay attention to that title, superintendent. Okay? The next section, we're going to talk about police and prosecution. This is wild. Also, the section on women and juvenile crimes. The crimes that he's charged with are against women and children. They're saying we're referring the case number. That means he was indicted.
의미를 살펴보면 올리는 예 감사합니다 하고 그래서 오늘 조금 전에 Wait, that's you. That's me. Wait. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's
why would you turn the camera to this? I don't even know no more. He's like, hey, bro, the fuck.
an uh-oh face from Hank right there. And part of me kind of wants to feel for him as he's been guilted into like trying his best to defend his friend who's so stupid he would rather live stream his legal counseling than have a better chance at having his freedom back. It's like he doesn't care his own freedom's on the line. It's just so stupid, it's baffling at this point. But moving on, another clip came out of him threatening to SA the female police officers that were at the station after getting arrested for his underwear stunt.
I've been to this police station 20 times. It's the first time they can put me in cuffs. I've been to this police station 20 different times.
But like, they put you. Where do they think you're gonna go? You're like, why are you in cuffs? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't care. The detectives, they're lucky I don't.
Dude is really going for the maximum sentence here. He just can't shut up and act right because he has to continuously make everything worse for himself over and over again. And there is nothing that's going to stop him from doing so, no matter how much jail time he's facing. Like, he's just making it so clear to the South Korean judge and prosecutors that if they want to stop this behavior.
The funny thing about it, he's recording and streaming all this. What he gonna do when he go to prison? You ain't gonna have no phone. You ain't gonna be able to stream, record, none of that stuff. So, what are he gonna do then? Like, he might be just being like this, talking to an imaginary phone, pretending he's streaming or whatever.
Behavior, they're going to have to force him to do so. Like, he knows all of this is going to be viewed by them, but still, for some reason, claims that he has no regrets whatsoever.
So my question is basically to Johnny. What I would like to know is if he has any regrets for what he has been doing over the past few years, especially what's been going on in South Korea.
Zero regrets. Zero remorse.
There is no way. Again, he's just sending these messages to the prosecutor and judge over and over again, it seems. How stupid is it possible to be?
You haven't watched your own videos and all the other that you've done over the couple of years. You haven't seen anything. You haven't watched it.
No, whenever I see clips of it, I laugh my ass off. It's funny.
Then on top of that, he also wanted to show up to his next court date wearing the new Kanye gown.
What do you think about the cake outfit at the court? Is that too crazy? The same one Kanye had.
Bro, I know it's a wonderful idea, but you won't even have a platform. You'll just get.
Does he have on a "Make America Great Again" hat?
Automatic ban.
No, so now I'm gonna get my Instagram deleted again. You're saying
It's a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie. But you can't.
It's a wonderful idea. That dude, that Hank dude, he must be in charge of his money, or he must got some way to get his money that he get from all these clips and streams, because he is trying to get him to go to jail for life or something, or for years, and he's just gonna steal all his money. This man just said him wearing the Kanye KKK outfit to court is a good idea.
the same one Kanye had.
Bro, I know it's a wonderful idea, but you won't even have a platform. You'll just get automatic ban.
No, so now I'm gonna get my Instagram deleted again. You're saying
It's a wonderful idea. I'm not gonna lie. But you can't do that and have a platform.
I really want to do the KK shit, but
I know
it's
a good idea, but like, you know, why isn't there anybody else doing the stunt? Because
you're right. There's no one else in the world is doing that. You're right. I haven't seen anybody but Kanye do that.
Like,
so what could I do at the court? I'm gonna have reporters talking to me at the court like in 2 days. Like the Korean news is coming. The last time I flipped them off and I said I love North Korea.
Oh my god!
I swear to God, I did.
It seems like his own personal Super Bowl seems to be being the biggest idiot possible and going for the most amount of time in Korean prison. But what he doesn't realize is, once he's in prison for a year, people will forget about him. And then if he's in prison for like 5 years, almost everyone would have forgotten about him then. And speaking of prison time, the newest investigation might be the worst one for him yet, as he's now facing an additional 10 years in prison if they go forward with this charge. And again, because he live streamed himself doing it, It's not like they have to gather evidence. It's really just if
And
the
it's a
prosecutor wants to hit him with it or
99%
not. But
conviction
as of
rate.
right now, Johnny hasn't responded to this new investigation, and his new trial is delayed yet again. So I'm sure Hank is worrying, because that means that Hank will have to foot the bill for Johnny for even longer until he's inevitably arrested. But that's the most recent update for the Johnny Somali case. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for one, but we have so many more crazy stories coming out this week. Also, shout out Legal Mindset for his great coverage of all this. I'll be linking his channel in the description down below. So make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and also I'll see you in the next video. Peace. It's safe to say one of the most
Crazy. Like, I don't understand. Like, why would you just, at what point do you stop and apologize and like just accept your punishment? Like, why you just, maybe he want to go to prison. Like, maybe that's it. He just want to go to prison. But that man, his friend who's supposed to be helping him trying to get out of prison told him wearing a black KKK outfit was a wonderful idea. Don't be like this guy, or don't be like his friend Hank. Just don't. So, make sure you subscribe, like, comment below any video suggestion you have. Check out the Patreon, Tay Live's reaction. I got a bunch of stuff on there. Full videos, not edited or nothing. You get the full video uncut. For watching this on Patreon, thank you for all the support. And I see you guys. Oh, make sure you check out channel hold on, we go to it. Make sure you go check out channel video dope, very insightful. Make sure you go check out his channel. I see you guys in next reaction.